So let's start. Good afternoon, everyone, and a very warm welcome to all of you joining us today. I hope you're doing well, feeling curious, and ready to think a little bigger about your future. My name is Anurag Sharma, and on behalf of Wayspire, I'm truly excited to host today's session. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to be here, because that decision alone already puts you ahead of the majority. Before we begin, I want you to quickly reflect on one question. In the next 3 to 4 years, do you want to be someone who is searching for opportunities or someone companies are actively searching for? That single difference comes down to skills. So let's be honest for a moment. The job market today, as you already know, and especially the one that we are moving into in 2026, is not kind to people who rely on degrees, certificates, or generic knowledge. Companies are no longer paying for potential, they are paying for impact. And that's why today's session is important. We are not here to talk about vague motivation. We are not here to sell dreams without direction. So we'll be covering which tech skills actually matter, why companies are paying top salaries for them, and what you can start doing as a student or early professional to move in that direction. So we'll be covering high value tech skills that are shaping careers and salaries in 2026. And we'll keep it simple. For each skill, we'll be covering what the skill really means and where it's used in the real world. So one reality check before we start, one important thing I want to say upfront is that this session is not about shortcuts. High salaries don't come from chasing certificates, they come from becoming useful. Employers today, they don't ask how many courses you have completed or how many certificates you have. They want real work experience, whether you have completed some internships or projects. These things matter a lot. And the people who can answer this question clearly, those are the ones who command 25 plus LPA packages, even without perfect academic backgrounds or CGPAs. So why you should listen carefully today is that in 2026 we are at a point that there are very few career options that actually pay well, and as you already know, there are mass firings and very lesser hirings compared to previous years after COVID especially. So a massive part of the workforce needs reskilling, and companies are clearly separating builders from replaceable roles. Now I would like to introduce our mentor here. Learning these skills requires the right guidance, and that's where today's mentor comes in. It's my absolute pleasure to introduce Mr. Hardik Dhingra, our esteemed mentor for this session. Hardik sir brings deep industry experience, real world perspective, and most importantly, the ability to explain complex tech careers in a way that actually makes sense for students and early professionals. He's worked closely with learners who've transitioned from confusion to clarity and from skill building to real opportunities. You're not just going to hear what to learn today, you'll be understanding how to think about your career strategically. So, with that, I'll encourage all of you to stay attentive, take notes, and most importantly, think about how today's insights apply to you. Let's make this session practical, honest, and valuable. Without further delay, I'd like to hand over the session to Mr. Hardik Dhingra. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Anurag. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. First of all, Happy New Year. And I just want to congratulate you all 68 people who choose learning on the first weekend of this year. So I think rightly said by Anurag, you have taken the right decision already. So, and he just laid it out very well about the understanding what we want to go do and what's the agenda for today, how we want to go forward with your career and what to think and what not to. So yeah, I just like coming from a 6+ years of experience, I think I don't have like 100% of the knowledge. Obviously I won't, and no one else, but I think I am mature enough to understand how the industry works, what skill sets that the engineer needs to bring to that table so that he can be impactful in his job, and the employer will look actively for those particular engineers out today. So I think two things that are true in the market today, and you have heard it everywhere, is it's tough. The market is tough. It's really tough to get job today, and it's true. But another true statement is it's really easy to get a job if you're right, if you have the right skill set, if you are impactful in your skill sets, what you bring to the table. So I think both these statements are true. It depends on what the engineer is, what skill sets he bring, what's there on his resume and whatnot. So I think from that, the idea of this particular session, the webinar, or just a discussion, you can say, an interactive discussion between the future engineer and the people who are in the industry like me. This discussion would, will I will try to help you guys to understand the need and the importance of these skill sets that are there, which are highly valuable by the employer, and how you can develop your interest at least in those particular domains. It's what this the topic is all about today. So I think this PPT, or the first screen that you can see on on this particular screen, the 6 skills employers pay for. I think this is not just a, this is not a YouTube video where you can see top 6 employers, what they pay for, right? Or top 6, 5, 4, 3, not like that. This is more just understanding how an engineer with, a skill set of maybe a couple of or multiple or combination of 2, 3 skills like machine learning or full stack, how these skills can bring make his job very much easier, how these skills make the employer actively looking for those particular engineers, right? So let's just get started and just give you a brief introduction about myself. I'm been working in the field of cybersecurity in specific. I'm not expertise of all those fields, but I do have the understanding of what it takes to a person to get to those particular stages of those particular domains. So my expertise in cybersecurity, and I've been doing that for 6+ years now. Been into the multiple billion-dollar companies, all MNCs, all product-based companies, and I'm really much fortunate to deep dive into the product as well. Communicate with different teams like who has machine learning skill sets, who has data engineering skill sets, and understanding what they bring to the table as well. So the whole idea of today's industry is a person who has end to end knowledge, not end to end highly skillful or highly expertise knowledge, but end to end knowledge how things actually work in an industry. That is the most valuable thing in the market today. If someone, if there are two resumes and one say that I can only do a Java code, and he's like 9 out of 10 in Java code, might be that has a specific requirement of that particular employer. That particular company has a specific requirement to bring the Java developer into the company, and they will hire that. But if someone who says I am have around 7 or 8 out of 10 of expertise in Java, but I also understand how to make sure that the code that I write is secure code, how that code is being deployed to a particular infrastructure, and 2 3 or more items, that becomes so much valuable. And that's why the company tends to hire those particular employees over the other. Maybe one can be a highly skillful person in his job, but other one has a combination of 2 3 other elements as well on his resume. So that's the difference. So I think to make this more interactive, to make this more happening, this particular webinar, I just want to have this particular question in front, and this would be more like we are building something. Let's just think from a product team. We all are in a product team, and everyone can participate in that. So since you all are from the college, right? College students, graduates. Some I'm really not sure if there some professors are here as well. So yeah, so let's see, if you want to build something like an e-commerce company, you have seen like Amazon, Flipkart, Mishu, and there are so many others e-commerce companies are there in the market. Let's say specific to the use case of college, specific to the use case of university, your university that you are part in, you want to build, you want to solve a problem where you want to create a e-commerce website for your university where people can buy items and people can sell items. And what items that can possible, maybe someone is an artist and he has done a very great job in paintings or all that stuff, sketching and whatnot. So might be he want to sell those particular paintings, and there are people who want to buy that as well. So that's a platform for them. People who are avid readers, they have read more than 100 novels. Now they all the novels that they have already read are there in his living room. Now he want to sell those particular novels so that other person can buy that, and other things. uh, Notes as well, study notes, books, technical books, non-technical books, And there are so many different use cases that can be there on that e-commerce platform, specifically for that particular university. Maybe such courses as well. DevOps courses, data engineering courses are there that someone wants to, someone creates those courses and then want to sell that on that particular university e-commerce. And maybe someday we even sell question papers as well, just like Arshad Varsi in Golmaal. So yeah, that can be possible as well. So just bring out what ideas. First of all, this is what we call as a product thinking and management. That's one of the skill. That one of the skill is understanding how, what are the use cases. Think from a user's perspective. Think from a college student. You are a college student, and think from that perspective what you want that on the website, that you want to buy or you want to sell. Just from that particular understanding, that's the first part. Understanding the use case, understanding from the user perspective what you exactly need. And then we come back to the second point, where how that particular things will be, how different technologies, different domains will be included, so that that particular e-commerce website will be active, will be performance efficient, will be reliable, durable, everything. And then we will come back to that. So just first of all, just understand from the use case scenarios what things you want. That maybe someone is a very good graphic designer, or someone has a great expertise in t-shirts, want to sell some t-shirts just like barefoot.com, something like any crazy idea. So just want to hear from you guys. So I'll just stop sharing for now so that I can see your chat. I'll wait for a minute or so that you can type it out in the chat if you have the permissions, right? They might have the permission, right, Anurag?
Yeah, sir, they have the permission.
Perfect. Whatever comes to your mind, guys. Whatever you think is related to university and uh, the college curriculum that is required, right? Anything, feel free to write it in chat. There are no wrong answers. Just feel comfortable. uh, Even if you say the most obvious answer, that would be a great answer. So in that case, just feel free to answer, guys. Yeah, I think that's we can have that particular idea someday, execute that as well. As per the syllabus we provide the notes, perfect. Right, we can hire appoint someone for the fest like guitarist, drummer, etc. Perfect. So you can have events and just make sure people participate those events. It's not the e-commerce, but it's part of e-commerce as well, like just like make book my show type of website. So again, that's another plus point. Selling college merchandise. All right, I didn't understand that completely, but okay. Get extra skill along with a degree. Perfect. Digital products, ebooks, notes, templates, study guide. Perfect. That's right. Yeah, this will help the students as well, for sure. So you are on that page, you are understanding the need of something, and you want to solve that something part by having a particular it provide experience certificate. Perfect. I'm saying you have a use case, you have a problem statement, and now you want to solve that problem statement by building something, by creating something. And when you want to create some product, the product needs to be very much reliable. Understand something like, if you go to a particular website, you want to buy something, you click on that something, and till the time you reach to the payment gateway, the website doesn't work. That means the website is not reliable. So it's not just you are solving a particular idea by having that particular product on the e-commerce website, it's also making sure that website is actively working, it is doing what it's supposed to do. That's the major important part. Again, this is one of the important parts. So now, shifting from the use case scenarios, understanding how and what technologies, domains is required to create a full end-to-end e-commerce website. What different technologies, domains, and this will be our subtopics of this particular webinar, where we talk about different skill sets. Six skill sets is what we have figured out. we have to we'll go through those subtopics as well, but this is related to that. I'll just give you a couple of examples so that you can think on that. So for example, you want to create a UI, for sure front end back end is there. You might have heard that as well, that for an e-commerce website you want to create some front end pages. If it drill down to HTML, CSS, JavaScript pages, you have heard that all in your school days as well. So think from that perspective, what different technologies, different domains, skill set is required in order to make sure that particular website works end to end. Any doubts on that particular question, guys? Just think from that perspective. If you are building something, how you build it, what different technologies that you will use. So deep dive into that is, you want a Java code at the back end. That's not what I'm expecting. I'm expecting just like front end, back end is one of the database is again another way. What else? Different technologies that you might have heard of, big time, from a very high level point of view. Yes, front end and back end, correct. Django is, yeah, that's what we are doing is uh, getting into deep into the back end technologies, front end technologies, so that how that particular back end will work. We are not doing that, but the answer is correct. Django is one of those. No problem. So let's just say, coming back to my screen again, or maybe we'll do that later. So you might have heard of machine learning. You might have heard of cybersecurity, as I talked about earlier. These are such domains. Just giving you a couple of examples, and then we drill down to the subtopics. That these things are also play a major role. You know, when a student is graduating, when a student is doing his college curriculum, they tend to move focus on front end and back end, and that's again a more highly demandable job in the market is the back end and the front end jobs, right? That will always be there. But the thing is, for a particular product to work end to end, for a particular salesperson, for example, I'm a sales professional, want to sell up my product to someone, uh, I will make sure that I will point it out every good points of my product.
Hello,
Hello.
good afternoon.
Yes, Vishal. Okay, no problem. So meeting is now streaming live on YouTube. Nice. So I'm just saying, those particular machine learning, cybersecurity, and all those different domains, subdomains are equally important for a particular product to work, for a particular sales team to make sure they are selling those particular products, and equally important that a user is using that effectively. Just like I said, there are so many different things that can happen, that can go wrong, and that can impact the user experience. For example, if someone is going to the particular website, and he makes sure that he pointed out all his information. For example, when you go to Amazon.com, what you do, you select the product, you put it into the cart, you click on that, you go to the payment gateway page, you put your credit card details, your name, your address, everything, you put that, and then you get that particular product. Someday you get to know that all the information, all your private, all your sensitive information that you put that into that e-commerce website, like your credit card details, are being there in the market. Everyone can see your credit card details now. So that means that particular website is not effectively handling your critical data. That's one of the major concerns of user. So now the trust between a user and the company, the e-commerce company, has been lost. So now maybe the user retention will not be good. Maybe the new user that are coming to the website is not that to that particular growth rate. So things can go wrong at multiple places. That's why engineers have been hired for multiple domains, with multiple skill sets, so that the company can work effectively on different aspects of an IT. This is what information technology is all about, where you need where something needs to be work effectively. When something needs to be work end to end, you need couple of or more than 2 or 3 skill sets as an engineer in today's date. So that's what we are talking about, and let's just go into subtopics. All right. So before that, we'll stick to that particular e-commerce website real case example that we have took, and just understand different aspects, and then we go deep down into that particular subdomain. So start with the front end and back end. We understand for a particular user will come to that particular website, and he needs a very user friendly his user experience should be good. The features should be effective, everything it should be good, the color combinations and whatnot. So this all happens to the in the front end part. A user can also go to from the different devices, like he can go from the his mobile phone or the web or the his from his laptop. So for every different resolution, the website should work effectively. So that supposed to be effectively handled by the front end team of the company. Now coming back to the back end, whatever the user does it, whatever actions from that particular front end that needs to be done effectively and which goes to different services in the back end, the handling of the database, because all the product that you will list, for example, if I want to sell my painting needs to be there on the my painting's details, for example, what is there, the pricing of that, the product ID, everything related to that painting. It's a sketch painting or a digital art or whatnot. The granular details of that particular painting will be there in the back end, will be there in the database. So the database team will be separate. The backend team who's working might be on the different technologies of backend, like Java. Someone said it right. Django is one of those as well, which not been used in most of the companies, but yeah, Node.js is the among favorite ones in the backend. Express.js as well. So many are there in the market. So each, for example, consider e-commerce. Imagine of the e-commerce website, what you see is a home page, you see cart page, you see payment gateway. Each of these pages, consider there's a different microservice. That's where you have heard of the word microservice, where the developers just develop different microservice, and how those microservices are integrated into one particular functional website. That's what in the backend is all about. Next layer is the data. Now consider what is data in this particular way. So the seller, starting from uh, the seller details, who the seller is, and what he's selling, what item he's selling, and the item cost, maybe the item image, again to the buyer, what the buyer is, what is address, what is details. Every details coming down is the data for the particular website, and there are so many other things as well. If I talk about the very low level of data, is if I go to particular e-commerce website and I scroll on the left hand side of the screen, if I scroll on the top left side of the screen, that is a data, that is a data that e-commerce website is storing somewhere. Because this top left scroll side, because like on an average I'm scrolling on the left hand side more, that means the website understand this particular user uh, have more focus on the left hand side of the screen. That's why we can provide more recommendations to him on the left hand side of the screen. That's what data is all about. Data is the backbone, so that the business can transform that data into business decisions, and those business decisions that can again transform the business. So this is like a fuel for a particular Lamborghini. That is what data is. It needs that particular the company, the businesses need that particular data. And data can be very much complex. It can be huge in the petabytes and whatnot. And images, for example, e-commerce websites, companies like Flipkart, Amazon, there are so much images which is there, and handling the images data is different way, and handling the text plain text is a different way. So how we are handling the data is also depends on the data type. And also, again, most important point is the criticality of the data. For example, how you are handling the image is different way is how you are handling the credit card details. Again, that will come into the cybersecurity point of view. Any questions so far? Any guys, anything you want to share? Just don't want to make this boring. Just want to stick with this real world use case so that we can understand it better. Anything in the chat? I'll wait for 30 seconds. Again, you can note down your questions. We can have a Q&A session at the last as well. Whatever questions you will have, we can take that later as well. So make sure that you are noting everything, every of your queries, because we might lost your questions in the chat. Yep. So let's get back to the business. So now we understand the front end, we understand the back end, we understand the data. But how data is helping to take business decisions? We need some functionality, we need some engine in between. Just like Lamborghini has the engine which takes the data and then drives the car. That engine in today's world is the machine learning. That is how machine learning is utilizing the data, training the data, building the models, and then helping the teams, helping the business to take best decisions for their company. The decisions that can improve their profit rates, the decisions that can improve their user retention, the cost of per user, they increase everything that can help the company grow better and better. So that is all about AI and ML part that we can hear. Like, this is the talk of the town in today's world, is the Gen AI. You all heard of probably the Chat GPT of the world. Chat GPT is one of the models of machine learning, the neural networks, the from the LLM part. And this way, so now coming back to the our use case of e-commerce, how why you need machine learning in those cases. There are so many ways. Like, for example, if a seller says, I am uh, what say yeah, I'm selling a painting, and the image that he uploaded is not as per the quality that it should be. So you need something to understand in between. Just like image recognition, it's one of the ML projects where you recognize the image, you understand, okay, it's a painting, and the category that the seller is selling, that is also a painting. So now it correspond to that, and that means it's a valid painting. So there are so many checks that the companies like Amazon, Flipkart have in there, that just work on the image quality, what the images the seller are been uploading. We understand that all this Amazon and Flipkart are working because they are sellers, and seller are just uploading their product. They have a particular portal where they upload the image, they provide all the details. Now the machine learning part, because it's so much tough for a particular person to make sure that to do all the quality checks, it's not possible, because the sellers are millions in numbers and the products are billions in numbers in today's world, today's market, all across e-commerce websites. So we need something, we need the machine to learn from a different trained model, and then provide the best results, and then provide the decisions that it can take on behalf of the humans. So that's where the machine learning project comes in the picture. Again, other thing, for example, uh, for say Vishal is like he reads a lot, he reads different type of books, and I'm a passionate painter, or I just want to buy paintings and put it in my living room of my house. So now they are sellers of painting as well, and they are sellers of books as well. Now what particular engine will be used, like in the case of machine learning, will be used just to recommend the books to profile of Vishal, and the paintings to the profile of Hardik. That's what recommendation engine does. So what you see on the page of your Amazon homepage, and what you see on the homepage of your Flipkart, is because the recommendation that has been provided specifically for you based on your search history. So there has been model in the backend that has been running on your activity, different types of activity. And again, this goes far beyond the Amazon. So for example, your Google search history, your cookies from the browser, everything has been utilized just to, so that the recommendation that has been provided to you, the ratio of the probability and the ratio of you clicking on that particular product on a website is higher. That's why it has been done. It's just for that particular purpose, so that the website click ratio is very much high, the user click ratio is very much high. That's what all recommendation engine does to the most part. Again, this is what we understand about the again, what we have done so far is front end, back end, data layer, AI, ML, what we have done so far. Now we need infrastructure as well. We are just talking about like हमने cement मंगा लिया, we have all the bricks as well. We have considered what steel we will use. I mean, thinking from a civil architecture point of view, we are building a house, for example. Consider we are building a house, but the land is the most important part as well. Like, where you are all building this, where this all things will be running, the software that you are building, the product that you are building, where it will be running, the infrastructure. That is what you might have heard of the cloud computing of the world. That again, the AWS, Google Cloud, Azure, you might have heard all these different vendors who are providing the industry leaders in the cloud platforms, and most of the companies are now on the cloud. So it becomes so much important for an engineer to understand how a particular product has been hosted. Hosted is the right word for this. How a particular you say product has been hosted to a particular cloud platform, and how it has been done, what different technologies in between is being used, so that consider like this. I'm making up, for example, if you are running a particular website and you are running it locally on your on your laptop, will it be reliable? Will it be scalable? Currently, your website is handling hundred of users, and your CPU resources, like your laptop CPU resources, is very good. It's 32 GB RAM for say 500 TB of hard disk, and it's a 8-core CPU processor, maybe a best of the laptop that you might have, is and you are running a website, a public domain website where you are handling 100 users today. But maybe you launch a particular sale. You say, okay, new year sale is there, and all of a sudden 1 million users are coming on to your website. Will your website will be able to hold that 1 million of users at the same time? The answer will be no, because it requires scalability. That's where we say we have to scale your resources, your resources of hardware resources. I'm talking about the CPU resources I'm talking about. So that's where you design a infrastructure in a way that you make sure your product works effectively, your product works reliably, and the availability part of your product and everything, like the database that you use, the virtual machine that you create, and the resources of the virtual machine, everything should be perfect in a way that it should hold more and more users, and the user experience is good on your website. So this comes down to the cloud computing part, this comes down to the infrastructure part. And you might have heard of containerization, you might have heard of Kubernetes, again a part of containerization. You might have heard of virtual machines, virtualizations. The concept of virtualizations and containerization has, just these two words have equally, boomed the industry of cloud infra and the infrastructure part. Like my major expertise comes from cybersecurity and understanding how the product has been hosted to the cloud infrastructure as well. So AWS people, there's just so many courses, so many certification that people do on the AWS part, and it's one of the, always every year it comes on the top 10 of certifications list that people do. Again, uh, uh, the one that is creating so much hype is the Kubernetes certificate as well, because you are a developer, you understand how to develop, but how you are developing your code and how that code is particularly hosted on somewhere, and the containerization, how you containerizing your particular product into Kubernetes platform. Again, these are just high level terms that you can note down today, might not be able to understand it completely today, but if you research it more, if you pay more attention, just watch one or two videos regularly on YouTube, understanding what is this actually about. So this is not what is Kubernetes, this is just understanding this is there in the market and it has some value, and that people want to learn more and more about Kubernetes, more and more about the AWS, more and more about the AI and Gen AI. So that's what we are currently doing in today's webinar, and that's the understanding. So any questions so far, guys? Just again, I hope everything is going great, or I'm not doing the right job, or am I nailing it well? Let's see at the end of the session. So the next part would be the security. So as I talked about, so I'll give you one example. This is I'm short of words because this is my expertise, and I don't know where to start. I have too much of knowledge in this. At least I can say on this particular platform, but the thing is, what is cybersecurity in the way is, you might have heard of digital arrest. We can talk about the general terms that you might have heard of, is the digital arrest that has taken the market, India market. And you might have heard of ICCI and different banking website ads that do not share your OTP. What is being happening is the bad people are taking the advantage of people who are not very much vigilant or very much attentive to secure their data. So their banking accounts have been hacked. People are just being part, they are hacked in a way that they are being scammed by someone, the bad people. So all these things are happening in a very high rate, and this is happening to individuals. But if that happens to a particular company, a company is having a product, right? If something bad goes on a particular product, and that bad is a bad attacker who is doing this, making sure that he finds the loopholes in the product, and then he's taking the advantage of those loopholes and taking the sensitive data, the data that he doesn't have authorized to use that particular data. For example, if you create a particular e-commerce website, and maybe someone from Russia just see, okay, this is a new website that comes into the market, let's see if there is any loopholes in those particular website. He find those loopholes, get into the backend system, get into the your code, get into the cloud platform, and find the sensitive data. The sensitive data might be your customer data. You are the owner of your e-commerce website, and there are hundreds and thousands of users, your trusted users. Now the attacker has the advantage, the attacker has the sensitive data of your customers. Now the reliability, the trust between your customers and you have been lost. So overnight, this can happen overnight, that an attacker taken the advantage of your loopholes of an e-commerce website, get the sensitive data, and now uh, it's like you are the users can sue your company. Your reputation is down, and you are in like millions of dollars of loss in just one night can be possible. And that happened so many times to very big companies, billion-dollar companies as well. If you just search on Google active attacks on big companies today or this week, you will see a lot of blogs, lot of things on the internet just in last week as well. And the amount of money that the company lost is on an average is very much high, because of the cyber security incident. So just like you hear on the individual basis, like people are scamming others, people are frauding others, this happens on a company based as well, company level as well. So that's why we need engineers who are able to secure their company, they secure their data, the company's product as well, end to end everything. They have been highly valuable by the company because the reputation of the company is equally important. And when I say that, if you remember, I talked about the salesperson. So consider yourself as a sales guy, and you are in a meeting with another vendor, and you are selling your product. So when you sell your product, you always tend to say that my product has this feature or that feature. This has we are solving this particular thing in the market. We are the industry leader. We are solving this problem statement and whatnot. But also the trend that we have seen in the last few years is the sales professional is also saying that our product is secure, because the amount of trust that security brings is very much high. And everyone, because no company, I'll give you another example, is because we are e-commerce. So for example, another part of e-commerce is delivery, right? If I want to buy something and you are the seller, it's now your responsibility or the e-commerce website responsibility to make sure that a product that I buy is safely and securely delivered to my house, to my address. So now e-commerce website doesn't take responsibility of delivery. They hire a third party company. For example, you might have heard of Delivery Express, or delivery is another company, delivery with H in it. So your company is doing business with another company so that the goods are being delivered. This is a supply chain type of thing. So now your company will give my address to another company. So let's say A is Amazon and D is delivery. Delivery is doing goods delivered to my house. I have only put the address and I have given that address to Amazon. Amazon has now given that address to delivery. So when this Amazon is doing business with delivery, they are also making sure that delivery product is very much secure, because हम अपना customers का product उनको दे रहे हैं, तो we have to make sure that वो भी उस data को securely manage करे, securely store करे. So that's why B2B or B2C business nowadays handles and make sure that the data is very much secure. So this is what cybersecurity is all about. Let's just go another way is, I think we have covered most of the things so far. Last part is the DevOps part. So you might have, most of you might have heard of DevOps part as well. So I'll give you a quick example of what DevOps is in a very simplistic way. Is uh, developers write code on their laptop, right? You might have heard of GitHub as well. Like GitHub is what, where you store all the code. Code is what, the functionality of your product. The code is how your service will work. That's the actual code, the language that you in which you have written. Just like Java, for example, right? A developer has written a Java code on his laptop, and now he wants to push that particular code to GitHub. GitHub is where all the code is being stored. Now from GitHub, how that particular code is being deployed to the infrastructure like cloud, the infrastructure like Kubernetes, and how we'll make sure that it deployed reliably, very much effectively, and very much fast. It should not happen like, for example, if I want to release a feature, the developer just need to develop the feature and then release it very seamlessly. So a proper seamless solution where the development part and the operation part is how you are hosting a particular code. Developer and operations, it meshed together to create DevOps part. So they are specific engineers for DevOps, who does DevOps engineering, making sure that developers code seamlessly hosted to a particular cloud platform, and they monitor, observe from different logs that it should work like at the 99% of the availability, like 99% of the time it should work. That's their SLA, right? So I think I'll just quickly cover this particular. I've taken a particular e-commerce website and then just we have driven that to different skills. So consider you are a developer now. So you also have the understanding of DevOps, that how that you what you are thinking currently. Most of the graduate students or the freshers in today's market is, they do crack the DSA. They go to hacker rank and they tend to solve the different problem statement, and that's the most important part as well. I'm not denying that. That will always be there. How the IQ comes from that as well. How you are able to solve big problems with simpler solutions, that comes from cracking those particular DSA problems, understanding different algorithms, and practicing. So, but as I told about, for example, there are 5 jobs and there are 5,000 resumes are there, and all those 5,000, maybe thousands of them has done 100 plus questions on the hacker rank. Now it comes down to those 100 plus, right? So now how you are making sure that you are the one that get selected? So that again brings down to your knowledge of different aspects of the product, how the product has been end to end been deployed. You don't need to do on a very high level, like just we told about the e-commerce. Maybe a simpler mini project where you have been developed, you are hosted at particular on a cloud platform, and the development that you have done is done through a secure code brings cyber security into the picture as well. And maybe your code is doing some decision making because you are backed up with the data which is there in the market, random data maybe, and using some AI machine learning code. So now the models of machine learning, the data which is backed up by the users, and doing that on the UI. This is end to end of how the product works, and the backend, the other supporting cast is the how the infrastructure has been labeled out, the cybersecurity and whatnot. So this is what we have talked about so far in the different skill set that beat degrees for sure, because you might be just more considerate of cracking DSA problems, but you don't have the complete, and not the complete, but some more understanding, so that you are better engineer than the other one who's there in the market. So just, it's a competitive market, right? And you don't need to run faster than the tiger. You just need to run faster than the other person, because the tiger will eat the other person, right, in that case. So that's all about. Any questions so far, guys? All right. So let's just quickly, again, these numbers, they are not specific numbers, right? 25 LPA, it's what you desire for. It's what you are practicing for. It comes down to your smart work, hard work, and all of that stuff, and the experience, of course, and which part of the country that you are working in. So, for example, the higher pays in Bangalore, Hyderabad, or Pune as compared to Gurgaon for some reason. So, an obvious reason as well. So, again. If you are data engineering, if you only just manage the data effectively, the complex data for a particular company, like a $1 billion company, that means you are dealing with tons and tons of data, and that data is complex because it has customers data, and other different aspects of different data types of data is there. So how you are handling those particular data engineering might be a very much skillful, and you also understanding the data, how the data needs to be secure. You also have the overlapping work of cybersecurity, that you have the right skill set, maybe you will get the highest paid job in the data engineering market. It can be possible. Again, DSA is what the building block. When most of the graduates and freshers have that particular question, like that's a. I've also done some questions. Being in the cybersecurity market, no one asks for the DSA questions, but DSA helps you to understand, and it's a problem solving mindset that helps you build for you. So that will be the building block. It will be the fundamental for sure. And on top of that, uh, like if you go to a data engineering job profiles, the team will ask for the DSA questions. They will ask for the DSA questions, and again, on top of that, they will ask you how you will handle the complex data. So again, we can go far and far beyond that as well. This is what tech market growth and talent gaps. The talent gaps will always be there. If you so if you go to LinkedIn, or if you search for a person who is looking for a job, if you ask from a person who is looking for a job, he will say there are no jobs in the market in today's world. They will say that, like that. But if you talk to a particular manager who is hiring for a particular job, he will say that there is there is no uh, right candidate or a skillful candidate in the market. This will always be true in both the cases, because understanding that particular two statements, you will understand that if I handle, or if I get the right skill set, if I'll be impactful, if I'll be good enough in what I'm doing, I can be the easy catch for in the eyes of the employer, in the eyes of the manager who is hiring. So that's what you want to build for the future. Again, this is not one time task. This is something that I have to do as well, as being the professional. This is what you have to do over the period of time, again and again. I don't know how the market will look like in next 5 years. I don't know how the market will look like in next 2 years, because this is the rapid growth rate that is happening. The things have been changing so far. If I simply talk about one thing, is the AI, Gen AI has come into the picture. Now it's so much easier for me as well to create a particular e-commerce website just in overnight. Like in next couple of days, I can build the e-commerce website that I'm talking about with the help of Gen AI. That's the beauty of it. So yeah, it will lead to firing. Yeah, it will lead to the roles, the expectation from a particular role will be different in the next couple of years for sure, because of those particular things are coming in the Gen AI. So how you transform your resume, having couple of skill set, uh, uh, not just certifications, but actual impactful work that you will have on your resume, that will be helpful for you to grow far and beyond, I must say. Maybe someone a graduate might take my job as well, because he's very much skillful. If I give you some more motivation on that, is I've been connected to a few people on the LinkedIn uh, who are actually creating LLM models from scratch. That means just like chat gpt is there in the market, they are creating a substitute of chat gpt, and they are selling those to a billion companies. That is not a wrap around. They are not using chat gpt to create something, but they are just substituting that particular chat gpt, and making sure that it will work faster, efficient, and performance is way much higher than the chat gpt is today in today's world. So, and they are just college students. So that's what I'm saying. People are very much, from starting. I'm not saying pressurizing you guys. uh, is just that you understand the importance of something is really is helpful for you at this stage in time. and the pace that you do is different for others. Someone has a higher pace in the starting and maybe lose the stamina later on. It's a marathon. I'm just saying. So yeah. Cool. This is, I think, we can share this particular slide to you as well. This is not just what we have talked about. This is just the numbers, facts, and few other things on each of the subtopics. So I'll just quickly go through. This is just the starting what Anurag has already talked about in the industry, what has been happening, the market trend, and this is the first subtopic is the AI in the machine learning, how it has been developed over the course of the period. Now we are in the Gen AI world. We are doing. There's so many things that are coming. If I talk about, like I have also put my hands in Gen AI from the last 1 year. Like every month, I see the previous technology of Gen AI that I'm using has been overruled by the other one that is coming in the market in just 1 month, and I have to learn something else as well in order to be too effective. Like so much things are coming up in Gen AI itself. So again, these are just a part of how you are training the model, supervised learning, and how you are doing the machine learning operations. Just like you develop something and you are operationalizing something in a better way. DevOps is coming. DevOps is in the profile, is a role in the company. Just like that, ML ops is also there. So how you create a particular model, how you deploy that particular model, and make sure that the model works effectively. Effectively means 99% of the availability will be there. The model, there's no error out of that particular model is going on. Observing those particular models, this happens all through in the ML ops. So yeah, again, this is one of the example loan risk prediction model. We talked about the recommendation engine. We talk about the fraud tool engine that you can have on the e-commerce. Just like that, it's one of the, and what action steps. So this will help you if you are very much eager to learn on the AI ML, what things that you can start. For the beginners, we have listed down something so that you can research on those and create those particular projects if you are interested in this particular domain. So this one slide is for that. Again, you can take it forward at your end based on your interest. Next one is the data analytics and the engineering. So uh, just like it says, the raw data will be there. Data is coming from different sources. Just like I told you, if you click on the left hand side of the screen, it's also a data. And if you are clicking on a particular product and making sure you add to cart, it's a different product. Your credit card details are different product. So there are so many different types of raw data. Now consider, uh, when I talk about the example of Vishal selling the paintings. Now Vishal has sold around 10 paintings of three different types. Maybe a digital art is one, the paint is a sketching, human sketch is one other thing, and maybe just color painting. I'm not very much expertise on the painting part, so I'm not thinking of many different ideas. But let's say there are three different types of painting that three different type of art he has sold on the e-commerce website. Uh, and combining all these three types, he has sold around hundred or thousands of art on the internet. So he want to understand what is the demand in the market and which type of which type of art has been mostly demanded by the users. So such insights are really helpful for the sellers as well. If I show Vishal a particular dashboard of when he released a particular item on the e-commerce website, when that particular item got sold, what is the demand of particular thing, what is the click ratio of on your different types of items. Just like if someone manages their YouTube account, if someone puts the videos on YouTube, the analytics part of the YouTube dashboard that you see on your videos, it's what data analytics does. Is the engineering part, how that data is coming from the backend and now showing that particular data insights to the user, to the sellers, and to the video creators, content creators, and whatnot. LinkedIn also shows that. Different way websites does that for their users, so that they can decide on top of that and make decisions based on that as well. This is human making decisions based on the data, and if machine is making decisions on that data, if the amount of data is very much large and it can be done by the human or specific human being, then it's the machine that will be doing it, so in the real time as well. So that is based on the, so how you are collecting those data, cleaning those data, analyzing the data, and making sure it will be an actionable insight. Insight is one of the how you take the decision from. This comes from the third subtopic, the infrastructure and the operation, the cloud engineering part. In this, it comes to your cloud platforms, understanding how the infrastructure actually works, how the cloud computing actually works, how the virtualization actually works, how the containerization actually works. These are all different sub technologies of cloud engineering in a small date. And again, एक बहुत छोटा एग्जांपल है, और वैसे जनरली मैंने शायद आई हैव हर्ड दिस ऑन अ पॉडकास्ट और समवेयर वेयर ही सेज दैट अगर अगर आप पूरी थान में से अगर शर्ट बना रहे हो, अगर एक शर्ट अगर आप टेलर हो और पूरी थान में से एक शर्ट बना रहे हो, तो वेस्ट है वो आपका स्किल सेट को नहीं शो करेगा. ऐसे ही ऑन अ सिमिलर नोट, if you are deploying something on cloud and doesn't making sure it is cost effective, अगर वो cost effective नहीं हुआ, मान लो if you are deploying something, अगर आपकी requirement है, if you have requirement of 2 CPU processor and 16 GB of RAM, है ना, but you have taken the virtual machine, you have taken the server of like 8 CPU processor, 32 GB RAM. So now you are overutilizing of your resources. You are paying extra that you don't need. So the FinOps, just like in MLOps, just like DevOps, it's FinOps as well. FinOps is finance operations. If you are a right engineer, you should do your work effectively and cost effectively as well. That's the part of cloud engineering as well. That's a sub and the valuable, if I do that particular work and show my company that okay, I have made these changes which affected my company to save $80,000 per year, I'll be in the eyes of VPs, I'll be in the eyes of CIOs, CTOs, because I have saved my company $80,000. Again, they won't pay me half of that particular amount of $40,000. They won't pay that. If they do, I'll quit my job and start some business. But for sure, that's a huge amount for a particular company. If a particular engineer does that, again, that engineer will be in the limelight of the team. So again, that's a valuable skill set for someone to have. Again, these are all subtopics you can search later on. This is what talked about a 4 CPU, 16 GB RAM. Utilization is only 20%. And again, for example, scalability is one the most complex challenge of cloud engineering, but the most effective as well. How you are making sure that if you have a sale event in the next, like Independence Day sale or the Christmas Day sale, New Year sale, Diwali sale, you understand there will be so much traffic that is coming up on your website. Now how you handle, how you optimize, how you making sure that your infrastructure has the right capacity to hold those particular incoming traffic on your website, and it doesn't get. Otherwise, if you see on a government websites, अगर आप पुराने government websites को देखते थे, you go to a particular government websites और वहां पर वो लोड ही होते जा रहा है, लोड ही होते जा रहा है. It is not loading up your page right way. वो इस वजह से ही होता है. कई बार बहुत सारे रीजन हो सकते हैं, क्या पता कोई साइबर सिक्योरिटी अटैक भी हो सकता है, उसका रीजन कोड में बग हो सकता है. एंड अगेन, अगर राइट रिसोर्सेज नहीं यूज किए, क्लाउड इंजीनियरिंग और दी प्लेटफॉर्म इंजीनियरिंग ढंग से नहीं की गई है, तो भी ये इश्यूज होते हैं. सो दैट्स अदर टॉपिक. I think I've talked much about cybersecurity already. Again, there are so many jobs that will be coming up in the cybersecurity. Think like that. I always say this. If we go back 20 years, 25 years back, and just search what are the top 10 companies in Forbes list. What are the top 10 companies as per the profit, as per the net worth in the Forbes list? Forbes just releases every year. You will see the oil companies, you will see the mechanical companies, you will see car companies, and things like that will be there in the top 10. The type of companies will be there. But now in the recent trends in last 15 to 20 years, you will see the digital companies, IT companies, Google, Meta, such companies are there, are just leading the way in the Forbes top 10. Why? Because they are just driven by the data. Data is the new oil. That's what I'm saying. And if the data is there, it becomes so much important to secure those data, and that's why the jobs are coming up, the premium pay is coming up for those particular things, and that's where cybersecurity matters, and it matters a lot. I'm not because I'm from a cybersecurity, it is not a sales pitch that I'm saying okay, just pay more attention to my expertise, but yeah, it's a just general trend, and you can do your own research as well. So yeah, I quickly go again to. Again, this comes back to the full stack DevOps environment. Full stack plus DevOps, it's the part of what how you are developing it. It comes down to your DSA, the people who are developers, people who are front end developers, people who are system designers, just understanding from a high level point of view, just understanding requirement, just like we discussed so far कि e-commerce वेबसाइट चाहिए, ये फीचर्स चाहिए, पेमेंट गेटवे चाहिए, एंड हाउ थिंग्स विल वर्क. हमने डायग्राम्स बना लिए, द हाउ द डेटा विल फ्लो, हाउ द फंक्शनलिटीज विल वर्क, हाउ द सर्विसेज विल वर्क from a very high level point of view. This is what we create as high level design, and then we drill down into low level design. This is what system design comes down. What backend service we'll use, हम database कौन सा use करेंगे. अभी without being implementing those things, we are discussing it. So this comes all down to the system design, because there are so many different types of database. I'm just taking an example of database, but based on your use case. अच्छा, आपको images रखनी है database में या plain text रखना है. अच्छा, आपको क्या कहते हैं, जो query करनी है, faster query करनी है, या आपको cache database चाहिए या normal database चाहिए. तो depending on your use case, depending on the use case scenario in your backend, we decide what database we will use, and this all comes down to system design. Again, it's part of full stack. It can be, it's not part of DevOps, but if I talk about the development and how the code has been deployed, the core part of the product, how the product has been built, it's part of full stack DevOps and the system design itself. So yeah, guys, this is all about the today's webinar. I think I have made this interesting. I'm not sure, but if you guys have any questions, concerns, doubts, just feel free to ask. Type it out in the chat, unmute yourself, whatever way you are comfortable, just feel free to do that. I think we are around the time, right? That we can open for the Q&A session, right? Vishal, Anurag?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Sure, that's it from my side. I'm happy to take your questions, guys. Or whatever feedback that you have, you can just type it out in the chat. See, if you are asking this question, Kanchan, that means you are already interested. So I'll just read it out. Future scope and jobs in data analytics and data science. That means you have that particular, you want to know more on this particular thing. So I'll just say, just research yourself. Just see the trends that is there. Search more and more on the LinkedIn. Search on the blogs that people have written, because if you have the amount of job, the scope is really high. If I just have to answer your question, the scope is there, the jobs are there in data science for sure. Data scientists, people are learning the machine learning. It's what has been required. If that particular skill set passionates you, then please go forward with that and learn all those things. So again, this is the scope is always there for all these six things. That's where there we have listed down all these things. So the other question is, Ayush, sir, in which language we should start DSA? I think DSA brings more is how you solve a particular problem, and it has nothing to do with in which language do you solve. You will laugh if I tell you I have done DSA questions in JavaScript language, and again, no one does it. But I don't know why I have did that in my college days. Then I uh, come down to the Python language, because I was not very much good at Java for sure. C++. I do understand the concepts of OOPS, but I didn't get that particular thing at that particular time for sure. Just to say, in the college days, I don't have much understanding of C++ or the Java. So I was just doing till today. I'm doing it in the Python. So whatever language that you feel comfortable in is just a way that how you solve a problem. Is this how you think a problem will be solved? It's more like that. What certification required? It depends on what you want to do, doctor. So every domain, even every domain has different types of certification itself. Like if I talk about cybersecurity, you will see 100 plus different types of certification in cybersecurity itself. So like if you learn more about cybersecurity, the courses of that, you will see how where from where you can start. and it comes down to that. So and again, the cloud engineering AWS certifications is also there. So yeah, is AI replace front end? I can't answer this question on a very high level because I'm also the user of AI. um, but for sure, it really help people to do some things that it will require days or weeks to understand, and it can be, they can quickly just do it using the AI. If you are really like creative, and you can create designs for a front end, your mindset, your creativity will always be valuable for a particular company. So it, because AI can't replace the creativity part in that. So it can give you options, it can make you think, okay, out of the box as well. It's sometimes but yeah, it's just the way that you can use in your job for now. But the things are getting changed, so it's a valid question, to be honest, Vanilla. Can you tell me what is the future of mechatronics engineer? Mechatronics, is it mechanical or electronics? I've not heard of that particular thing. Does it relate to IoT or what? Praful. Sorry, Praful. I do have to research for that as well. Thank you, Charanpreet. Thank you, Dhananjay. That's great, Himanshi, if you have the understanding of Python. In contrast to AI, see, the language that has been trending is, for Java will always be there. The importance and the value of Java will be there for sure. Python, again, easy to learn, easy to start, and do data scientists, more data scientists create their models in the Python language because of the amount of open source libraries that the Python has. So again, the usability factor is there. People also tend to go for Rust nowadays because it's very much fast, for the fast results. So depending on the use case, the Rust has been used, and also Go. So these are four languages that is currently there for your questions, Ayush. And again, depending on if you want to do front end, back end, depending on you, because when you go to a particular company, you don't know which language they are using. They will ask you question on a general way, and understanding if you have the right mindset to solve a particular problem, and you have good with the different backend services, they give you, okay, this is the Node.js code that we already have, just understand this code, and this is a feature that we need, now develop this new feature. So because you have the understanding of how backend will work, how the Java will work, now you will need some 15-30 days to understand the fundamentals of Node.js, understanding that particular code, and then making changes to that particular code. So language is not a barrier, it's just a way. Sure, we'll share the PPT. How to get a certificate again, Charanpreet? Which certificate you are talking about? Not sure. What AI course can help marketing student? Okay, marketing student. See, I'm not sure what day-to-day routine task of a marketing professional looks like. Without knowing that, I can just say the how you use GenAI, because if you see a YouTube video, people say we don't know how to use ChatGPT as well, and that is correct as well. It's a proper way. Prompt engineering is another way that how you use the GenAI. It's not tough like they used to say in a video that you need to do a workshop for that. No, you don't require a workshop for to understand prompt engineering, but basics, one or two hour of video on a YouTube will help you to be a good prompt engineer. Maybe a good prompt engineering for a marketing professional helps that person to get the different ideas of how you want to do the marketing of a product that you want to do achieve for, and what are the trends, what tags that you want to help so that the reachability of your market increases. This is coming from a technical person, so I am not sure what the day-to-day routine task of a marketing person looks like, but I think AI course of prompt engineering is a initial or the best way to start with. Sir, mechanical engineering. For mechanical engineering, is the question is what AI course for the mechanical engineering is? That's the question, Galaxy. I think person living in on Earth doesn't have right to answer the question of Galaxy for sure. Good session, thank you. Okay, where we can get the certificate workshop? I think the operations team will help you to answer that question. Praful, how to start? how to start full stack development and what language we should learn for both front and back end. For full stack, I think first you can check with the operations team. They might have some peers, they might have some expertise of people having in the full stack development. You can get in touch with the Anurag or the team with the Wastefire. They can help you with the answer that question, because my answer would not help you in a effective way, but they would for sure. So yeah, I think they should reach out to you as well, Ayush. Okay, Anurag already answered that question. Is computer programming helpful to aim for high? For sure. Again, when I talk about if there are 5,000 resumes on the table of a hiring manager, and if you are capable enough to have done 1,000 plus, or 100 plus questions practiced on the Hacker Rank on different coding practices platform, that means you have done the competitive programming, or whatever stuff that helps that your resume to be effective, that you are the right candidate, and you have better understanding of solving problems, can you can then aim for the highest packages for sure. Sir, if you want to learn any course, then certificate is from reputed organization only, or just knowledge matter? uh, it's a combination. See, as a if I become a hiring manager, if I started hiring someday, if I have that particular experience, I might not see the certifications, but there are some certifications which, like in the terms of cybersecurity, there are some certifications which tend to give the reflection of what particular candidate is all about. If we can manage, because sometimes on a very high level, you need some authority, so you need some recognition from this certificate authority as well, that that person has achieved something. Now he's able to do that. For example, just like AWS, if you have done some certification AWS, now it's been obvious that you can do work on AWS cloud platform because you have certification from that particular platform itself. So again, knowledge is the priority item. If you even if you have the certification, if you don't have the right knowledge because you just did the certification, it won't do on a longer run. It might help you to get a particular job, but again, this market is very much, on fire. They The only people will sustain is that they keep on learning, and they work effectively, they work valuably, and provide value to the company. So for the sustainability, you definitely need knowledge. So again, I got a very real feedback for sure. So, but I think you being very vastly knowledgeable caused a difference in our understanding levels. Many of us being freshers didn't really get to absorb your teaching completely, in my opinion. Okay. Again, could just be me, but would really appreciate if you could give a basic version of what most important topics rather than speak about very niche concepts, please. Many thanks for your valuable time. So again, the agenda that we have defined for this, and this is thank you very much. This Realme Nerzo 30A, the username that I can see, and that's a good observation for sure. And I can relate to that. If I've been a fresher and if I talk about for like 60 minutes, a person talking about different concepts, and I don't have any idea, I might get bored as well. But at the same time, if I just understand from a very high level that the combination of different skill set is required, this is a skill set, these are the names, I have keep the note of that. Now it's my time to research it. It's not that person responsibility in a 60 minute that he will be able to help me select a particular domain, select a particular skill set that I want to learn. It's just that he has given me the idea that how the IT works in the industry works end to end. That was my agenda. But I really appreciate you pointed out, and maybe in the future workshops, we can drill down on the basic level as well. But thank you for your feedback, Realme Nerzo 30A. Certificate partition for this. Everyone kindly don't leave without filling the forms. Okay. Mentorship link. Okay. Those who want to know. Okay. This is sir. We can leave this meeting. Okay. Which language would you prefer for a beginner to start the competitive programming? You can start with C++ for sure. C++ will, if you're a beginner, C++ will have the right, it's easy to learn as well for the beginner, and right concepts, the fundamentals will remain the same throughout. And you will create a very much effective fundamental for you to sustain on a longer period if you learn C++, and then you can easily shift to Java or Python easily later on, depending on the requirement of a company that you work for. Yeah, people have said this later on the chat as well. Correct, C++. That's what I recommend as well, you guys. Okay, I think that's it. You should have more knowledge of. You said it right. So AI is yes, Anurag. Any specific question that I missed, Anurag? Maybe if you're following as well, because I mistakenly clicked on the red button of 5 new message and then I brought to the last of the message. Not sure if I missed something.
Nothing much, sir. I think you have already answered most of the queries.